We were very fortunate in India in that the global recession was just a dip, very brief blip, and we have a very strong domestic market. They want visual effects in their Indian films that are as good as anything coming out of Hollywood, so we can supply that to them. And it means that we're in a very good position to grow, and we're not as affected by the global recession, which has taken a heavier toll on many of our counterparts in Europe and the United States.
Is it the same market in India, the public interested in Bollywood and Indian films and the public interested in Hollywood movies? Is it two different types of people, or are they merging now?
The main target market is the middle class in India for the type of films that are being now churned out by the Hindi film industry, Bollywood, and by Hollywood. You have to remember India is unique in that Hollywood films still represent less than 5% of the box office there, and more than 90% of it is domestic. So mainly for the masses, the domestic film industry is catering to that. But Hollywood is making inroads. Avatar, for example, was the second most successful film in India last year. And a large part of that has to do with these films being made available in the local languages, not just Hindi, but Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, all the Indian languages of the major population centers.
Well, we are seeing these days a resurgence in ticket sales on the big screen. It hasn't been the same in the last few years, but now people want to go to the cinema again. How's that affecting a company like Reliance?
There has been an increase in the box office attendance and above all in the money charged for the tickets, largely driven by a number of 3D titles like Alice in Wonderland, Avatar, which has made cinema much more profitable. That's why they're eagerly pushing into all these new digital distribution platform, whether it's the iTunes download or the Blu-ray. And fortunately, the resurgence of cinema means that they can invest in new technologies, like, for example, the conversion of 2D films into 3D films, and we're going to be seeing much more of that in the future.
The profits that 3D movies have made this year have exceeded anyone's expectations. Was it just the Avatar phenomenon, the James Cameron phenomenon, or do you think it will affect the cinema industry as a whole?
The 3D effect will affect the cinema industry as a whole, and while Avatar was an exceptional case, we have seen that it wasn't a unique case, because after it came films like Alice in Wonderland and How to Train Your Dragon, which also did exceptionally well. Hollywood studios are convinced that 3D is the way forward for pretty much all of their major blockbusters, and we're increasingly seeing, interestingly, art house directors and more traditional directors like Martin Scorsese and Ang Lee also now looking at 3D, and European filmmakers as well.
Well, one of the advantages of pushing for 3D films was the fact that you could fight piracy much more.
Yes.
So that's the first question. Has that been achieved?
Yes, because the significance of 3D is that you cannot replicate the experience. You can point the camera at the screen and try to copy it, but you get a blurry image. And of course, it just wouldn't get the same sensation sitting at home and watching it on your laptop.
But film pirates are intelligent people. They evolve quicker than the norm, don't they?
They will. And it's an ongoing battle, but for now, 3D has the edge on them. So we'll have to wait and see a few years how quickly they catch up.
Well, with all the talk about 3D television, it seems like piracy will be even more difficult to fight.
I think what we're looking at in terms of piracy threat on the television front is much less, because at the moment the only way you can get 3D content is either via Blu-ray, and it's a very, very niche market, so it's too small for the pirates to target. What's more worrying the studios is that people have not yet shown willingness or acceptance. Are they going to sit in their home with glasses as well? Because the one thing we don't have yet is 3D without glasses in the home.
Is the advance in technology at the fast pace it usually goes a challenge or always a blessing?
For us as global company, but mainly headquartered in India, it's a blessing because it levels the playing field. What Thomas Friedman talked about, the world being flat, and it is really flat in terms of media when you have the right tools. So for example, we're privileged to be the sister company of Reliance Communication, which is the largest owner of submarine fiber optic cable that spans across the globe. What that means is we can take a digital cinema file, which is 200 GBs in size, and push it across to our facility in Los Angeles in under an hour. And this sort of thing would never been possible before. And it means that we can move content across the globe, and we can shift work, and we can have next day premiere anywhere pretty much on the planet. And this simply wouldn't have been possible before. So technology is a great enabler for us.